we've got a lot to talk about today, guys, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, check out this awesome UFO filmed over Brazil. This is from 2016, shared by Wixie. Thank you, Wixie. Look at this beautiful thing. It's not quite a saucer. Is it a pyramid shape? Mushroom shape? I don't know what that thing is, but it's pretty cool looking. Released by UFO Secret Files. Yeah, really intriguing looking craft. We've heard about pyramidal craft before. Is this what they were referring to? Or is this something altogether different? I don't know, but I'd love to know the full story on this thing. Who's flying around in that? I don't know, but that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Let me know what you think. Meanwhile, Tim Phillips, former interim director of AARO, is saying AARO tried to get access to UFO information, but was denied by members of Congress.
But yes, I actually remember being in the skiff with members of the UAP caucus, along with the Department of Defense Air Force Major General fighter pilot, who was the SAPCO, the Special Access Program Management for Office of Secretary of Defense. And the reason that members of the UAP caucus were not read into the SAT programs was because their leadership denied it. AARO requested it, the SAPCO, the DoD SAPCO requested it, and those requests were turned down by their own leadership. They felt they did not have a need to know. The governance authorities, the committees that we reported to, were knowledgeable and understood what we were doing, and they were satisfied with AARO's response.
So you're saying the leaders in Congress denied it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so leaders in Congress denied AARO access to SAP information. Really interesting. That says a couple of different things. One, that they don't trust AARO, which they shouldn't. Keep in mind that Tim Phillips is here with Mick West. And it says another thing, that they do seem to have access to information that AARO would want. They do have access to UFO-related information. That itself is very intriguing. They certainly haven't shared that with us, much less AARO. So really interesting, very frustrating that members of Congress do know more than they are telling. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised by that. After all, they have gone in skiffs to get this information, and they're not allowed to share it with us. But it's interesting they're also not sharing it with AARO, either because they're not allowed, although that doesn't seem to be the case here, but because they simply don't want to. I wouldn't want to share it with AARO either, but it is frustrating that our leaders do know more than they are saying. And yeah, so let me know what you think about that story. That's very interesting. Meanwhile, Tom DeLonge was talking about how our adversarial nations may have their own UFO technology.
We're not the only ones that have had a crash. Yes, and so when we make big statements about North Korea or big statements about Iran or China, it's because we are aware that those places are being manipulated and have very advanced technologies now.
Some of these
So yeah, it's something to keep in mind there, especially with the current climate. If Iran had UFO technology, I think that we would know it by now. I think that if Russia had UFO technology that was operable and could be used for offensive means, we would know it by now. China probably would have taken over the world if they had, offensive alien weapons. Now, I think it's very likely that there is some sort of deal that has been made, at least between the control group and the beings here in the U.S., where they allow us access to high technology, but don't allow us to weaponize it. I think that is a very likely scenario, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was the case in other countries as well. But interesting. That's an older quote from Tom. But yeah, interesting to keep in mind in the current climate. Let's see. We've got a beautiful orb or series of orbs shared by Peter Osborne. And everybody should go check out his channel, and I'll link to it below. But Chris Bledsoe shared some beautiful images with Peter.
Images were over 800 megabytes each. Phenomenal size and very difficult to render into a film, but I'm doing it. I'm getting through. So anyway, hope you enjoy. And if you do, you could always support my endeavors with a cup of coffee. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look at these gorgeous orbs filmed by Chris Bledsoe. Changing shape. You can almost kind of see faces in it. I mean, probably pareidolia, but you do hear those stories often about orbs that have faces in them. And I've shared a few of those videos. But yeah, whatever it is, gorgeous, gorgeous orb. I don't think that's a star or anything like that. But let me know if you guys disagree, if you think that's a star or, some, mundane thing that could be mistaken for a UFO. And good on Peter for sharing that with us. And I'm glad that Chris shared it with him. This is a 10-minute long video. So I will just encourage you to go watch the full thing on Peter's channel. And I will link to it again in the comments below. Meanwhile, I wanted to share a really cool NDE, a near-death experience, with this gentleman who actually merged with God or source, whatever you want to call him, her, it. Just an amazing experience. I love NDEs. I study them. I've studied them just as much as I have alien abductions, and I've done a huge deep dive into both of those. Studied thousands in each category. So it's always amazing when you meet somebody that actually, connects, merges with the Godhead, if you want to call it that, whatever source is. There's many people that actually meet God or something they perceive as God. Sometimes they do perceive it as the ultimate God. Sometimes they'll be talking to a God-like being that then they will then realize is their higher self. Really, really interesting, trippy experiences once you get into near-death experiences, which again have been scientifically investigated for over 60 years, ever since people have been reliably brought back from heart attacks. And these experiences have been investigated and corroborated as genuine out-of-body experiences. These are not dying flashes of the brain or anything like that. So let's, with that in mind, that at least some of these or many of these experiences can be corroborated as genuine out-of-body experiences. Let's listen to a gentleman that says he merged with God.
I'm in the hospital and I'm about to get this procedure, and I waved goodbye. I was like, well, this might be the last thing I see. And boom, I became that amazing light that everybody talks about, that light at the end of the tunnel. And I became that light for an eternity. Just boom. And this person that I had been no longer existed. I no longer existed. I mean, I guess that's the easiest way to explain it, even though it's not entirely true. I became integrated with that light. The light and me, no difference, exactly the same. And when you are that light, the idea of a self just seems ridiculous. Like, why would I want to be a person? Why would I want to be a being with all that suffering throughout life, all this misery, everything clouded, no awareness of anything? Just these are beings, And so that light, that amazing, and when I say light, I could say God, I could say the source. There's different ways of explaining that. In reality, there's no human explanation whatsoever that can come close to what that life experience really is.
Anyway, he goes on. It's a beautiful recounting, amazing experiences and thoughts. He has a lot more to share, and over an hour long, sharing of this information. I'll link to it below. But I wanted to share that with you. Somebody who says he merged with God during this infinite period of time, which is what many people report, is that there is no sense of time over there, not in the way that we experience it here in our plane of existence. Just a fantastic sharing by, I think his name is Robert Aho, which is kind of fun because there's one of the ayahuasca retreats that I go to. After everybody shares, they say Aho. Not the case in every retreat, but I thought that was interesting. Meanwhile, I wanted to share this bit from Stephen Greer. The audio isn't great here, but he says he's going to get involved with the study of the Nazca mummies.
This is a big question, and that's the thing is, some of these are 5,000 years old, some are 2,000. Could this be a non-human civilization that was here for some time and had interactions with ancient humans? There's a lot of mysteries involving ancient human and extraterrestrial interactions that have not been unpacked. I will tell you, there's a man who is under contract with CIA who studies these that I've met with, and some of this technology is ancient human and some of it's ancient extraterrestrial, or a hybrid of the two. So it's a complicated story. But yes, they're definitely real. I mean, I've looked at the CAT scans. They are bodies. They are not human. They do have these metal devices in them, and the osmium that's in it wasn't even discovered until 1903. So we're going to also test that when we go down there. We're going to take samples. We're going to do full metallurgical and genetic, what's called ancient DNA testing. I can't say that it's alien. It may be something that was something strange that existed on the planet thousands of years ago.
Well, there's no mundane explanation for the Nazca mummies, and I think Stephen Greer knows that. They are clearly hybrids or something like that. There's multiple different species. There's like 5 or 7 species of these things, all tridactyl, with radically different morphologies, even reproductive systems. Some are egg-laying, some would have delivered a live birth. All tridactyl, all in the same area. So clearly related, but clearly not related at the same time. So you can't get that from any mundane cause. Clearly some sort of genetic experimentation or something was going on there by somebody that was really good at that kind of thing. A lot of unanswered questions with the Nazca mummies. Glad to have Stephen Greer aboard, I guess. And I've been very outspoken in my thoughts on Stephen Greer. A lot of good, a lot of bad. But he does have a huge following, and I guess I welcome the chance for the reality of the Nazca mummies to reach a wider audience. Joe Rogan has also been talking about the Nazca mummies. He gets some of his facts wrong, but he does recognize that there's some there, and he is publicly talking about it, again, to a mass audience. I always say, about the Nazca mummies, this is UFO disclosure. We have bodies, y'all. We've got bodies. But if a tree falls in a forest and nobody is there to hear it, does it make a sound? So hopefully it's starting to make a sound now. So I'm getting very excited about that. And so I cautiously welcome Stephen Greer aboard the hunt for the truth. Meanwhile, getting back to Tim Phillips, Merrick von Rendenkampf says ex-DOD AARO Deputy Director Phillips denies that an EMP test caused the Malmstrom UFO incident, saying it was a transformer short instead. But the transformer short occurred after the missile shut down. Crews could not recreate the effect. And America's got the receipts right here, and you can read all that at your leisure. Merrick also is on, because he is on this. Let's see, where did my other Merrick quote go? Here we go. The Wall Street Journal's explanation for the 1967 shutdown of 10 nuclear weapons at Malmstrom Air Force Base is demonstrably, laughably false. DoD AARO's apparent explanation, a faulty transformer, is similarly easily debunked. What is going on here? Is this confusion intentional? Well, I think we know what's going on here. It's called disinformation, and Merrick knows it too, and he is here to set the record straight. Love it.